I'm Sukhvinder Kaur Stubbs, Chair of Volunteering England. Volunteering England represents the voice of volunteers. In this country there are over 20 million volunteers, and this spans the voluntary sector, companies, but increasingly the public services are also relying on volunteers as well. And for most people it's a very positive experience. But when grievances occur, whether they are the serious cases that get reported in the press or the day-to-day grumbles, it's imperative that we tackle them quickly and resolve them to mutual benefit. But more importantly, we set up the procedures and the policies that ensure that they don't happen in the first place. And in this way, we can ensure that volunteering remains a positive and a good experience for everybody who's already involved, but also encourages others to give of their time.
I'm Lewis Smith, and I'm a volunteer, and in fact I've been a volunteer now since I took early retirement in the 90s, about 16, 17 years. Very happily volunteering, I have to say as well. But a few months ago I had an experience which really rather brought me up short, when a colleague was rather summarily dismissed from the organisation that I was involved with, and it was quite a shock to discover how vulnerable volunteers can be, because once they have gone through a process in their own organisation, there's nowhere else they can turn to if they feel that they have been unfairly treated. Since then, a group of us have been looking further into this question of how you can ensure that volunteers don't have a similar experience to this one. Because to solve this particular event took 5 months, a lot of meetings, a lot of contacts, a strike in effect of volunteers, if you can have a strike of volunteers, and eventually the threat of a question in the House of Commons in order to get an investigation set up. And we became very conscious of the fact there are going to be a lot of people, or there may be a lot of people, who don't really have the facilities, the support, the contacts indeed, to go through this process for themselves.
Volunteering England has set up the Volunteer Rights Inquiry. The inquiry is framed in the rights context, but really the issues are about parity of esteem. It's not about making volunteers on a par with paid workers. It's about recognising the moral duties that volunteers take on, and also respecting that they have entitlements that go with the certain obligations that they take on. So we'll really be looking at the best practice that already takes place in the sector, looking to find ways of promoting that further and getting others to encourage that, but also hearing from people who have had bad experiences of poor governance, poor management, and trying to see if we can find some solutions to resolve that.